We often wonder if the media can influence behaviors other than consumer-related ones. There's much concern about the relationship between the mass media and violence in society. Is the relationship between increased violence in the media and human behavior in society clear-cut or more muddled? Social scientists note that violence plays a role in entertainment and always has. Both physical and psychological violence in the media has increased significantly. Television has been accused of contributing to the decay of society more in its short history than any other medium. This is especially true in the case of violence. Those most concerned about this point to the rise of violence in society, especially among young people. Many professional organizations have noted that it's been proven that violence in the media causes crime and increased aggression. Nonetheless, there's still a lot of debate about the relationship between violence in the media and violence in society. Two different questions have emerged in the discussions about the effects of television violence on specifically children's behavior. Does viewing violence on the screen cause children to imitate this behavior? And does viewing violence desensitize children to real violence? Children who consume high levels of media violence are more likely to be aggressive in the real world. A lot of research in this area and most findings correlate TV viewing and aggressive behavior. Children who watch high levels of media violence are at increased risk of aggressive behavior as adults. Several research projects have been conducted and have determined this to be the case. The introduction of television into communities leads to an increase in violent behavior. Williams, for example, found that violence increased 60% after TV was introduced into a remote village in BC. Media violence can also stimulate fear in some children. Research has shown this to be the case, especially with boys. And music with violent lyrics has had a similar impact on college students. People who watch a lot of media violence tend to believe that the world is more dangerous than it is in reality. Regular TV watchers tend to see the real world as it is depicted on TV, not necessarily as it is. Family attitudes to violent content are more important than the images themselves. The media is only one factor that may put children at risk for aggressive behavior. Family attitudes and social attitudes also play a role here. Research done by Spears and Seigert, looking directly into this relationship between children's behavior and violence in the media, examined the views of children aged 8 to 15 years of age. Their survey was administered by teachers and asked questions about the attractiveness of violence in media, the behavior of others as affected by this violence, and the relationship between media violence and violence in schools and community. More than half of grades 7 to 10 students said that they had seen someone imitate a violent act, but most reported that no one was hurt. Other findings of this research included learning that many Canadian children have their own TVs. Girls and boys differ in their choice of programs and video games. Parental guidance is often lacking in terms of children's choice of programming, and younger children are afraid of what they see in the news,